When Sir Jim Ratcliffe took control of footballing operations at United, the Manchester-born billionaire was somewhat welcomed in as a homegrown hero, ready to save the club from the dark days of the Glazers. But in just 12 months, he became a punchbag for many fans. So what happened? Well, let's take a look and you can decide for yourself. Over the last 3 years, the club lost 300 million quid, and Ratcliffe rightfully committed to sorting that. But what seemed to get fans' backs up is the way he went about it. For example, talkSPORT understands staff lunch options at the Carrington canteen have been reduced to just soup and sandwiches, which the higher-ups at the club say will save them 1 million quid a year. Now, that might make sense for many who don't get free meals at work themselves, but it does get a little bit more picky than that. It was reported that after staff brought some stationery, they were ordered to send sellotape back because it wasn't considered to be essential. And the reward for being Steward of the Week used to be 50 quid, but that was scrapped and replaced by a paper certificate. But it's not just seemingly stingy decisions. In 2024 alone, Ratcliffe oversaw 250 redundancies, and more were announced at the beginning of 2025. Now, while there are people who acknowledge United staff numbers are overinflated, it's the optics which aren't great. Add to the mix the introduction of a flat ticket price of 66 quid for every fan, even children, while Casemiro's on 350 grand a week, and the frustration of fans reached fever pitch. Time will tell whether Ratcliffe's cost-cutting measures will improve outcomes at the club, but one thing's for sure, there's a long way to go for United to be back where many say they belong.
What have we just witnessed at Stamford Bridge? Chelsea have blown the title race wide open. An incredible game, an incredible result, and a last-minute winner for Chelsea Football Club. And we have beaten Liverpool to blow that title race wide open. A great game, a great day, in fact, of Premier League action, and the Premier League table is starting to take shape. 7 games into the season, and Arsenal are now top of the league. They are words I never want to say, but they are true words. Arsenal Football Club are sitting top of the league. They are a point clear at the top of the Premier League table. It really was a perfect day of Premier League action for Arsenal. They beat West Ham United in a convincing win at the Emirates, and then they have sat back and they have watched Chelsea do them a massive favour. That is now 3 defeats in a row for Liverpool Football Club. 3 defeats, in fact, in a week for Liverpool Football Club. It was a massive game, and we really do need to get our teeth into it. There were also big wins for Manchester United, big wins for Tottenham Hotspur, and remember, we are now live on YouTube and on Android TV and on Google TV. We're even on Prime Video, so come and see us in our brilliant new studio on the 17th floor of talkSPORT Towers. Now, remember, it's all about you, it's all about your opinions, and I really do want to hear from you. Were you at Stamford Bridge today? Are you an Arsenal fan who is over the moon with that Esteval Willian goal in the last minute? Please do give me a ring. 03717 223344. That is 03717 223344. Call that number and you could be live talking to the nation on talkSPORT on the Rory Jennings phone-in show. I mean, I'm still catching my breath after that. It was an absolutely pulsating game. Either team could have won it, but frankly, Liverpool were not good enough. We are going to go straight to the lines now. We are going to speak to Spencer, the Chelsea fan. Spencer, how was it for you, mate?
Yeah. I have been a little bit critical of us over the last few weeks, especially when it comes to Maresca and his tactical subs. I'm sure, Rory, as a Chelsea fan yourself, you've probably been used by them, especially when he goes down. But I just felt it was like really a good performance, especially when we got moved. I felt we kept control very well. However, I will say on Gusto, I don't know what's going on with him. He just looks a shadow of his former self from that brilliant performance we had of him a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you. I would agree with you that there are criticisms to be levelled at Maresca. I would agree with you that it hasn't been ideal over the last few games, and obviously losing to Manchester United, dropping points to Brentford, losing to Brighton, obviously that wasn't good enough. But today, he found a way, he found an answer, he found a rhythm. Today we got over the line, and you look at the quality of our first strike. You look at the resilience to fight until the bitter end. I'm amazed, really. I didn't know that this team had those minerals.
No, and I do agree, like, especially for it keeps getting thrown around a lot, such a young side. And yes, we are young and developing, but you can't really use that excuse for much longer because the board keep buying young players for the future.
No, I know.
So eventually we are going to run out of, I don't want to say brownie points, but eventually it's just going to run its trail. You know, you can't keep saying, oh, young side, young side. Like, I do think that our defensive issues might cost us this season because we don't really have any major importance.
Yeah, I think we're losing Spencer there, sadly. Are we going to change tact, actually? Let's now focus on the title race, focus on the huge result that just occurred at Stamford Bridge. Liverpool losing for the third time this week. And we're now going to hear from an Arsenal perspective. Josh, sir, you are live on talkSPORT.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Josh. Can you hear me?
That was a delectable medley, footballing splendour, my friend.
It was, Josh. That was a delectable medley of footballing splendour. I mean, for 90 minutes, you were a Chelsea fan there, weren't you?
Oh, listen, West London forever. Yeah?
Yeah, I mean,
West
it was...
London forever. You know what? I'm really happy with today's results, honestly. I'm happy for Man United. It was nice for them to get a result in the bag. Arsenal winning, we knew what we needed to do. We needed to win, no matter how. Don't care Gyökeres didn't score today. He will score, all right? But you lot done the job, and I'm so happy because Liverpool have been a deer in headlights for the last couple of weeks, yeah? Mm. They've been a deer in headlights the last couple of weeks, and now we are starting to see the wheels fall off.
Do you really believe that? Do you think that's what's happening? You think the wheels are falling off of Liverpool, or do you believe that this is a blip that they will ultimately overcome?
Florian Wirtz. I was just watching him just now. The geezer started on the bench. He's come on. He doesn't even know where he is. I feel so sorry for him.
It's quite a harsh assessment, Josh, because do you know what? Straight after half-time, he was brought on within 30 seconds of being on the pitch. He actually produced a majestic bit of skill, didn't he, that Salah should have actually tucked away. If Salah scores they equalise immediately after half-time. Could have been a different game. He did his bit there.
How difficult is it to retain the league?
I mean, the great Arsene Wenger never did it. Your hero.
Exactly. Yeah, but Jose did it, didn't he?
Yeah, Jose most certainly did. But you look at the managers that have never done it. It's not an easy thing to do. Wenger never did it. Ancelotti never did it. Conte never did it. Dalglish never did it.
I don't believe Arne Slot is going to retain this league.
Really?
I'm saying it. Jamie O'Hara, if you're listening, who's at the top of the table?
Oh no! Well, there we go. Josh, an amazing moment, no doubt. Thank you very much for your call, Josh. I just can't believe what we've seen. I cannot believe that Chelsea have found a way to do it, and I cannot believe that we've been speaking about this match, speaking about this fixture, speaking about the ramifications of it, and nobody yet has said the word Esteval. Nobody has spoken about the skill and ability of this kid. Nobody has spoken about this moment. Like, he is a true world-class talent in the making. He is a true, genuine wonder kid, and we have him. And the fact that he has now announced himself to the league with a goal of that magnitude is something to behold. We're going to go straight back to the phone lines now. We are going to speak to Jordan, who called 03717 223344. That is all you need to do to be live on talkSPORT. Jordan, sir, how you feeling?
Hello, you all right? Can you hear me?
Certainly can.
All right, so I just want to ask a question. Out of all the Liverpool players today, obviously other than Bradley, who got hooked at half-time, who would you say is the worst player today?
The worst? I mean, yeah. I think the worst is a difficult conversation to have, but the player that I would say I expected more from that didn't deliver would be Mohamed Salah.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I phoned in today, because I haven't really heard too much. I don't know if it's the general consensus across Liverpool fans, but me personally, the last few weeks I've been asking for him to be dropped. I just think he's been awful. I know he's got this huge contract now, but that shouldn't play a part in, him starting or not starting. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
Do you know what, Jordan? The fact that you are a Liverpool fan who's calling up and your focus is on dropping Mohamed Salah, I think that tells us everything about where Liverpool are at the moment. It felt like there was some parts of this Liverpool team that were undeniable. Like the spine of the team. It felt like it went. Alisson had to play. Van Dijk had to play. I'm assuming everyone's fit here, obviously, but Alisson has to play. Van Dijk has to play. Salah has to play. The fact that now one of your tent poles, you're suggesting you'd be better off without him, I think that's a massive statement.
Yeah, so not necessarily better off without him. I don't think his performances warrant starting every week. And I'm not saying him playing every week is the reason we're that bad. You know, it's clearly a system issue at the minute. We've made quite a lot of changes again today. It seems to be a common theme where, you know, we're bringing off certain players, putting on certain ones. It's almost like a lottery, a raffle, where he's just going to his bench, looking who's there and going, you know, you come onto the pitch now. There's no structure to the team. I was saying to my friend as well earlier, when we brought Endo on, Endo's usually the guy we bring on when we've got a 1-0 lead, you know, a 1-goal lead. We've brought him on at 1-1, and some of my mates have said, oh, well, he's playing for the point. But you saw at the end, we were still going for it. So why on earth are you bringing Endo on? I just don't feel like there's any structure in the team right now. And I do think Salah should be dropped, because if you're not performing, I don't care who you are, you shouldn't be playing.
Salah dropped. I can't believe I'm hearing these words from a Liverpool fan as well. Salah needs to be dropped. For Liverpool to be their best self, for the furtherance of Liverpool Football Club, they need to get Mohamed Salah out of the team. Let me know your thoughts on that. 03717 223344. It was a massive result for Chelsea as the champions Liverpool went down at Stamford Bridge. I am buzzing for it, absolutely buzzing. And obviously, there will be a very red corner of North London that is currently dancing to madness one step beyond, because Arsenal fans will be elated that we have somehow managed to continue this unravelling of Liverpool Football Club. Liverpool fans, you are now behind Arsenal in the title race. 2 defeats on the bounce in the Premier League going into the international break. Arsenal fans, you're in dreamland. Give me a call. I really do want to hear from you. The phone lines are open. 03717 223344. That's 03717 223344. I'll speak to you in a moment on the Rory Jennings phone-in show.
One step beyond.
Just magical. Magical. Do you know what? There is nothing. I genuinely am at my happiest in my life when I'm standing on a plastic seat, bouncing up and down, moving my arms incoherently around to this madness song. These are the moments that Stamford Bridge lives for. These are the moments that Stamford Bridge waits for. This is the point of being a football fan. A last-minute winner against the champions at Stamford Bridge. It really is so significant, so poignant, so beautiful, and it's going to have such significant ramifications. None other than Arsenal Football Club. It really is massive, massive for them. So Arsenal fans, I do want to hear from you. 03717 22 33 44. Now, before we get back to your calls, we're going to head over to Craven Park as it's full time in the Super League between Hull Kingston Rovers and St Helens. Mark Wilson has been watching all the action for us.
The 2025 Grand Final will be a repeat of last year's Grand Final after Hull Kingston Rovers wrapped up a tie with Wigan next weekend, beating St Helens by 20 points to 12. The Robins led deservedly 12-0 at the break from tries from Lewis and Burgess, although Dion Cross narrowed the gap for St Helens to 6 at the start of the second half. Ollie Gildart's second half double gave the Robins a 14-point lead with just a few minutes to go. Although Harry Robertson dived over in the corner to narrow the gap, it was never going to be enough for St Helens. Hull Kingston Rovers will go to Old Trafford next week looking to complete the treble. They've won the Challenge Cup at Wembley. They've won the League Leaders' Shield. They now go to Old Trafford next weekend to take on the defending champions, hoping to win their first ever Super League Grand Final. That Grand Final is live on talkSPORT next Saturday night from 5 o'clock. What a night here at Craven Park. The Robins are through to another Grand Final. It ends Hull Kingston Rovers 20, St Helens 12.
Thank you very much there, Mark Wilson, and congratulations to Hull Kingston Rovers. We're now going to go straight back to the phone lines. We're going to talk to a Liverpool fan whose name is Moaning Mo. How are you, Mr. Mo? Mighty Mo.
Yeah. You're all right, mate.
Yeah, I am. I'm on cloud nine. How are you?
It's enough to cut the smart talk, which you always give. Liverpool ain't finishing in the top four. You know that, right?
Liverpool will finish in the top four. Come on.
Liverpool will not finish in the top four.
This is a wild prediction.
This is not a wild prediction. This is a prediction based on evidence. All the players they got need to be dropped. They're not doing anything to improve the squad. Liverpool will not finish, in the top four.
Are you a Liverpool fan, Mo?
I am a Liverpool fan.
And when you say that who will finish in the top four then, if not Liverpool?
City will win it. I reckon in no particular order with the rest. Tottenham, Chelsea, Arsenal.
Oh, this is wild. This is wild. Moaning Mo, I appreciate your call massively, but this is utter nonsense. I'm going to keep this moving, and I'm going to now speak to Joe, the Liverpool fan. How are you, Joe?
I'm good, how are you?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. That was driving me mad. I haven't got time for that. Tell me, what are you thinking about that?
God, that was increases there. Do you know what I think? I think there was a fella on you had about 3 calls ago, Arsenal or Chelsea fan said Florian Wirtz was awful. I think previously he might have been. But tonight, I think he was the momentum changer for us.
Yeah, I did my best. If you were listening to that call, I did my best.
I did it. Yeah.
To kind of flag that. He was on, and within 30 seconds created a massive chance for Mohamed Salah. What more can he do in that moment?
Yeah, and I think they had a point about Salah, the caller just before the last one. He's saying to drop him and that, but do you know, I was sat at Anfield on the Bournemouth game where he came over, he was crying his eyes out. I think there's a mental impact that's on a few of those players who've played with Jota and that's obviously taken a toll. Now, I'm not saying that's an excuse for not playing well or that sort of thing, but I think it is taking a toll on a few of the lads. And then I think you've got players coming in trying to adapt to a team that's mourning as well. So I think that some people need to take a step back and think about what the club's going through, what the team's going through, and then just understand the situation. It's different players, young players. 22, isn't he? Wirtz.
Yeah, I certainly agree with that there is undoubtedly an emotional aspect to Liverpool this season. But what's your prediction, Joe?
My prediction of the league, well, if it's not us, I hope it's Palace, to be honest. but no, I think we'll come back. And we'll be good. I just think it needs that gelling. I think the international break now, following the 3 losses, couldn't have come at a better time. And if you asked me 2 weeks ago, I would have said, God, no, don't have this international break.
How damaging do you think 3 defeats in a week is for this Liverpool side?
I don't think it's that damaging, you know. I think it's something that we need to look at and reflect on. I know that it's the same boring response that Van Dijk will probably give, and he'll say we need to reflect on it. But I think it is damaging, of course it is. But at the same time, we've got players who've come in, the new players. We've got players who sort of been there and been around it, that they know how to coach them and understand. The worrying thing for me was we brought Robertson on and we changed the right back to a centre midfielder and we look better. They're two new... Bradley's not a new signing, but he's scared to bring Frimpong on. He's scared to bring Chiesa on by the looks of it. That worries me.
And Arsenal are now top of the league by a point. Are they the team that you believe you're in a title race with? How much credibility are you giving to, say, the challenge that Manchester City are launching?
I don't think City will be in and around it this year, but that's not to say write them off. I think Arsenal are the biggest competitors, but you know what it's like with Arsenal. I think they'll get excited, they get carried away, and then in a few months' time, they'll draw a few games and all the players will be on the backs. They'll be calling for Arteta out, and they'll go through the usual turmoil they go through. But we're having that
fingers
now,
crossed. Fingers crossed with that, Jay.
yeah. Well, I said we were well beaten by the end of that game today because the subs were wrong. We shouldn't have brought Endo on, but fair play to you. He's probably deserved to win.
Appreciate it there, Joe. A great call. We're going to stay with the phone lines and we're going to speak to Tom, the Chelsea fan. Yes, sir.
How you doing, Rory? You good?
Mate, I'm over the moon. I'm absolutely buzzing. I feel like we've been waiting for this. We've been waiting for this sort of result, like galvanising result.
I have not been this happy since the birth of my children.
Yeah, big one, isn't it? It feels big.
So I wanna bring up a point about Maresca. Right, he's a young Premier League manager. Okay, in the first season he won us 2 trophies. He's learning, and tonight I think he's showing his capability.
Do you? What are you having, Maresca? Then are you having him as?
Yeah, mate, 1,000%. I'm having him. I think he's got such potential. Look, he's learned his trade off the greats, and I think he's sending us the right way. But on another note, I will say about Stario, mate, I've died for him to come on every game, and now he's come on and he's got this winner for us. I can't be more happy for that young man.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like he is like a genuine wonder kid. You know, when we talk about wonder kids, and obviously, you know, there's a lot to discuss, and we can always talk about like Max Dowman at Arsenal and whatever else is going on. This is a genuine wonder kid. This is a Brazilian starlet who scored against us in the Club World Cup.
Mate, without a doubt, he is, or possibly our next Hazard, you know. And I'm wary of, like, when I want him to come on, I think Maresca, come on, bring him on. But I think he's doing the right thing by introducing him slowly. And like I say tonight, what a fantastic night. We outplayed Liverpool. We did. We were the better team. And to snatch it in the 90th minute, I was having a discussion with an Arsenal fan at the golf club where I watched it. And I was like, you know, with Liverpool's reputation, they're probably going to win it. But to win it in the 95th minute against them, ecstasy, mate, ecstasy.
Yeah. No, we couldn't. It couldn't have gone better. It really couldn't. It's the dream result in the dream context. Like nicking a last-minute winner against the champions at home. It really is the stuff dreams are made of. Tom, thank you very much for your call. I'm not so sure that I agree with. Great to talk to you, Tom. Cheers, mate. I'm not sure that I agree with Tom's assessment about Maresca. I'm still lukewarm. And I know that I'm in the minority of Chelsea fans there. I'm just not convinced. You know, it's only our 3rd win so far this season. The other 2 wins were fairly uninspiring. Got lucky at home to Fulham and battered West Ham, but that was Graham Potter's West Ham, so they can't read too much into that. But I'm interested to hear anyone's thoughts on Enzo Maresca. Do give me a ring, 03717 223344. Back to the phone lines now. We're going to talk to Ralph, the Liverpool fan. Ralph, you're live on talkSPORT, sir.
Rory, how you doing, buddy?
I'm all right. How are you?
Mate, do you remember we talked a couple of weeks ago or so, and I was a bit concerned about us winning last minute.
Yeah, I do remember. And your reservations have actually been proved correct, haven't they? I was countering them.
Mate, you know what it is that we've got to look at reality. We're having a transition right now in our attack, okay? And beginning of the season, I said, one of my mates is an Arsenal fan, for his name's Neil. I said, Egon, mate, he's your Premier League trophy. He goes, what are you talking about? I said, think about it. Since you're going through transition, you guys have been building year on year, and now you've got the best squad in the league. I said, we're overcoming a tragedy, the loss of Diogo Jota. I said, we've made changes up front. I said, we're not gonna be there like we were the last last year. That's my opinion. I know we were winning last minute, and everyone's saying, all this panic saying, yeah, Liverpool doing what they need to do. They're winning last minute goals. They're getting over the line. I actually agree with Tony Cascarino, what he said. We were in a false position. And you know what? If we finish in the top 4, I will be happy with that. I've got to tell you. I hope I'm wrong.
You'll be happy with top 4?
No. Well, yeah, but Rory, look at what's happened.
No, but Ralph, I don't think we could. Look, you've had a bad week. And you Liverpool have had a bad week, but you can't suddenly reposition Liverpool as now a club that would be happy with top 4. Surely the whole intention of the summer was to retain the league.
Rory, I'm not saying we'll be happy with it. Of course, I'm not going to be happy with it, but let's be realistic here. We're going through transition up front. The time it's going to take for these players to gel, work. As he's done well. Isak says it all anyway. Isak is brilliant. But it's going to take time for them to gel, let's be honest.
Yeah.
And when people are saying, oh, Liverpool are going to walk the league, come on, guys. They need to gel.
I think you're right. Look, there's going to be a time needed to gel, and it's going to certainly take time, and there's going to be bumps in the road. But do you not think that what's going to ultimately happen is you'll come back off the international break, I assume you'll beat Manchester United, you then play Brentford, I feel like you'll get a couple of wins and everything will be back on track.
You know what, Rory? I still hope you're right.
Yeah.
With that, I still hope you're right, but I don't think it's going to be quite as straightforward as that. You know, 2 of our back 4 we've changed, haven't we?
Yeah. Look, Ralph, you might be onto something. It's great to talk to you, Ralph. It is, and obviously we spoke earlier this season, and Ralph was very much of the opinion that there was a fragility to Liverpool that I didn't necessarily see. But I don't really see it as being quite as disastrous. They've had a couple of bad results. They've lost to Chelsea in the last minute, which can happen at Stamford Bridge, and they've lost to a very good Palace team. On some level, Oliver Glasner is the governor of the Premier League. He's a brilliant, brilliant manager. But maybe I'm doing a glass half full thing here for Liverpool. So I do want to hear from Liverpool fans. Is it quite as doom and gloom as Ralph suggested, or do you feel like you'll bounce back and you are still strong contenders for the Premier League title? Now, still to come on talkSPORT this evening, it is the best boxing show on the entire radio. It's Fight Night with the wonderful Adam Catterall. But right now, keep your calls coming into us after Chelsea sent Liverpool packing back to Merseyside with their second Premier League defeat in a row to sit behind Arsenal going into the international break. Call us right now, 03717 22 33 44. Looking forward to speaking to you on talkSPORT in a moment.
Everyone knows there are 20 managers in the Premier League, yeah? Well, actually, no. Around 3/4 of them are not managers. The terms manager and head coach are often used interchangeably to describe Premier League bosses, but they're actually two different jobs. So let's explain how and why. For years, fans referred to Mikel Arteta as Arsenal's manager, but I'm afraid technically...
I don't think so, no.
From his first day on the job, he was the Gunners' head coach. Let's pick a random moment in time, February 2025. Only 6 Premier League bosses actually held the official title of manager rather than head coach. Man City's Pep Guardiola, David Moyes of Everton, Ipswich boss Kieran McKenna, Southampton's Ivan Juric, Oliver Glasner at Crystal Palace and Leicester's Ruud van Nistelrooy were the only actual managers of their respective teams. Everyone else? That's right, head coach, including Ruben Amorim at Man United. He took over from Erik ten Hag, a man who had held the title of manager. Might come as a surprise that Amorim's appointment marked the first time ever that Man United had a head coach instead of a manager. But to understand why they made that decision, you also have to get what the difference is between a head coach and a manager. A manager's got a huge range of responsibilities. They're not just in charge of training and player lineups, they're also heavily involved in player sales and transfers. Critical stuff. But a head coach's role is far more focused on team training and performance on the pitch. So whereas Ten Hag was highly involved with decisions around transfers during his tenure, the intention was that Amorim wouldn't be, at least not on the same level. And as the sporting structure at Man United changed under Sir Jim Ratcliffe, people like Sir Dave Brailsford took charge of transfers instead. How all those roles play out in practice may be slightly different at different clubs though. On the other hand, the contracts of actual managers like Pep or Moyes had no limit on their job role and their involvement with transfers and contracts. But those guys are actually in the minority now, and it's a change that's happened pretty quickly. In 2019, there were only 6 head coaches in the Premier League, but by 2025, there were 14. A clear indication that more and more clubs are moving towards a model where the guy in charge is actually only really in charge on the pitch. And the way things are going, it might not be long before all 20 clubs have got head coaches, and the job position of football manager in the top flight is no more.
Listening to talkSPORT in the aftermath of Chelsea Football Club blowing the title race wide open. A last-minute Esteval Williams strike has confined Liverpool to their 3rd defeat in a row. Chelsea have secured a winner in the 95th minute and Liverpool have lost 3 in a row. The title race is blown wide open. Arsenal Football Club currently sit top of the league. They are top of the league by a point. And the way that this season is going at the moment, nobody can predict what's happening next. Arsenal fans, you are top of the tree going into the international break. Are you the team that is best equipped to deal with the arduous nature of this Premier League title race? We are now live on YouTube and also on Android TV and Google TV. We're even on Prime Video, so come and see me in full HD. But now it's all about you. It's about your opinions. So give us a call. 03717 223344. That's 03717 223344. We're going straight back to the phone lines now, and we're going to speak to Andy, the Liverpool fan. Andy, sir, you are live on talkSPORT. Andy, sir.
We're getting it down. Hopefully 12 now.
Andy, you've missed the boat. We're going to go to Francis, another Liverpool fan. Francis, how are you?
Hi. Finally. Good evening, guys. How are you?
Oh, you kept you waiting, have we, mate?
Oh, yes, you have. You kept me waiting for about 20 minutes. I should talk for another 20 minutes, shouldn't I?
Well, mate, you could well do that. You know, if you keep me hooked.
Okay, I'm going to be controversial here. Now, first of all, when the players come back from the international break, I think Arne Slot their first training session should be keep the ball. Keep the ball for at least 15 minutes, right? After that, I really do think he should drop Salah.
You're the second person today, Francis, that said Mohamed Salah needs to be dropped.
Exactly. I'm being controversial here. He should drop Salah. If you remember, when Klopp won the title back in 2019, yeah. when we tried to defend it, the same thing happened, and then we started losing games left, right, and centre. And this is the same thing. I think history is repeating itself here again. I honestly think he should drop Salah. Wirtz is sort of blowing hot and cold at the moment. He hasn't really set the world on fire for me, and that's my opinion. I think probably many other Liverpool fans would say the same. I was just on. We have a group called Sparta Cop, and I was just telling them that I honestly think we should drop Salah, and we just need to keep the ball. We could not keep the ball for whatever reason. I was saying to them, has the ball been poisoned or something, or are we allergic to the ball? We couldn't keep the ball.
Do you know what, Francis? Your training suggestion to Arne Slot, I'm going to dismiss. But your point about dropping Mohamed Salah or rotating Mohamed Salah, however we want to position it, it's not something that makes any sense to me. It's not something that I agree with. I think that you need your best players on the pitch. You need players like Mohamed Salah to be playing when things are tough. You know, players like him will shine when things are tough. But you are the second Liverpool fan that's called up. I think I've spoken to 5 Liverpool fans tonight. You're the second one that has said Mohamed Salah needs to be dropped.
Yeah, you just made that point for me. Playing when the going gets up, but he hasn't though. That's the thing. He has not been performing though. When the going has been getting tough, he hasn't been performing though, has he?
No,
really?
but ultimately, I believe that he will come good. And if Liverpool are to resurrect their season, if Liverpool are to rediscover themselves, the way they will do that is by players like Mohamed Salah taking games by the scruff of the neck and dragging Liverpool to victory. I would be far more comfortable if I was a Liverpool fan to see Mohamed Salah starting rather than who? Hugo Ekitike, throwing him in the deep end when the going gets tough?
In the deep end, I think Ekitike has actually proved his worth, though, hasn't he, really? I think he's
so's Mohamed Salah, though, mate.
I know he's not Mohamed Salah, but I think sometimes, and I think I was just going to say, Arne Slot, welcome to the Premier League. This is how tough the Premier League is. I think when in his first season, it was roses. Now he's going to earn his keep. He really has got to earn his money now. Yeah. And I honestly do think, maybe even if it's just for one game, because then I think Salah will probably then come back strong. I honestly think maybe there's too much on his mind. As you probably know, he was very close to Jota, maybe is affecting him. I do think he needs to drop him for, not just for himself, but for the team.
It's a very interesting call. Francis, I appreciate your time massively. Drop Mohamed Salah. Liverpool fans are calling up and fairly significantly, in their significant numbers, saying that Mohamed Salah needs to be dropped. It doesn't chime with the way I see the situation at all, to be totally honest. But we'll stay with Liverpool now. We're going to go back to the phone lines. We'll try Stefan again. Stefan, you are live on talkSPORT, sir.
Good evening, sir. Okay, so there's so much I need to get off my chest here. I've got my brother-in-law in the same room who's an Arsenal fan, so we'll come on to him in a second. But this situation, the tactics, you see, this guy's laughing.
Is that your brother? Is that your Arsenal supporting brother-in-law having the time of his life? Yeah.
He's having the time of his life. Of course, in a second, I'm not even going to get started. Can I speak first, Rory? Is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
Let me get the things off my chest first. Forget about Wreck-It Ralph and Moaning Mo, all these nonsense Liverpool fans. They've never been to a game in their lives. Okay, so let's break it down. Salah, I'll be the third caller to say he has to not only be dropped, but he needs to be given a lesson here. This guy's on 400 grand a week, right? He's done absolutely nothing this whole season. We've got a guy, an Italian guy, who everyone seems to think a guy called Chiesa, who scored winners, extra time, whatever you want to call it, right? He's been absolutely outstanding. So what does Slot do? He brings on Endo. He puts out one of our best midfielders to right back. He puts our best number 6, or the world's number 6, in Gravenberch at centre half, and we've got Gomez on the bench, right? And he's trying to either hold on for the 1-1, which was never going to happen. By the way, you guys deserve to win, so I'll give you that. And then obviously we capitulate and they score. You guys score the 2-1. But Slot, he's no Paisley. I've heard all this nonsense calling us woolly backs because we're not from Liverpool. He thinks he's Paisley. He inherited arguably one of the greatest teams the world's ever seen. He spent £10 million last year, and now he spent £500 million, and we've gone backwards. We don't even deserve to be 1 point behind Arsenal. If truth be told, we should have lost at least 3 or 4 of these games that we've played this season. The fact that we're 1 point behind going into the Man United game in a couple of weeks' time says it's luck, complete luck. You saw what happened in midweek against Galatasaray. We were all over the place. Konate's head's gone. This guy, Kirkes, this £40 million guy who ain't got a right foot, he's an absolute joke. So you play the captain, the second in command, Robertson at left back. You keep it simple. Macca's head's gone. He sacked it okay second half, I'll give him that. Granted. But this whole nonsense about Slot being this tactical genius, he's not. He's been found out. I thought, Rory, and I love this show, I love you. I really appreciate the things that you do. I follow you all the time. We thought this would happen last season. on the back of Klopp leaving, but it's like a year hangover. He's lost the plot. He doesn't know what he's doing. You don't put Gravenberch. Gomez was on the bench. You play Gomez straight away. Bring him in. If you're going to go for the 1-1, bring Gomez in. So he brings Endo in. No Chiesa yet again. So it's obvious there's some sort of beef that he must have with Chiesa because it's a nonsense. 99.9%, and this Arsenal fan is laughing behind my back. This is what. Yeah, but you can laugh all you want. Second, you bottle it again. So what are you talking about? Oh my! Do you want to speak to Chris?
Yeah, go on. Let's have the Arsenal fan on for a moment. Yeah.
Yeah. Go on, Chris. Oh God, I'm dying. Rory, big fan.
That's very kind. That's very kind, sir. You've got to be over the moon. A perfect day's Premier League action for you.
Yeah, I expected Arsenal to be West Ham. It wasn't as comfortable as I thought it would be. And I thought it'd be 1-1 between Chelsea and Liverpool. But I'll be brutally honest. I don't think Liverpool are as good as Scousers think they are. Sorry, Stefan's pacing behind me. I'm just having my 2 pence worth. My first time call. I watch the show all the time. Big fan. And personally, when everyone was writing Arsenal off, and I'll say the same thing now.
It still 2 points to being the Invincible. Ignore it.
Right, so this is what I got to deal with. My wife is a Liverpool fan, so my brother-in-law is a Liverpool fan. So I'm an Arsenal fan coming into this family. And since they've got with me, they've had nothing but success. So I'll be honest, I am basking in the ambience that is this minute downfall that could be. So back to Arsenal. Nothing's done yet. And I'm not going to flip-flop and say, now because we're top, we're favourites. The bookies do what they do. I still think Liverpool are favourites purely because they have experience and they've been there and they've done that. The only way you get experience is by doing it. So until we actually do it...
Do you think you win the league now, Chris? Final point. Do you believe that you win the league?
Yes. See, this is what I'm talking about. See, this is the stuff I've had to listen to for 10 years, Mark. We've won 2 league titles, Can you hear 1 Champions League, 3 Champions League finals.
I can hear him. I can hear him. I'll tell you what, you fellas are going to have a great night, aren't you? Thank you so much for your call. I appreciate it from both of you. Steph and Chris, great to speak to you. It's going to be a very interesting evening in that household because I think that Arsenal fans are obviously over the moon, but I am slightly surprised at the catastrophe that Liverpool fans seem to be calling up with. Liverpool fans seem to be heartbroken. They seem to be genuinely struggling with this result. And I appreciate losing a game in the last minute. It's a sickener. Losing a game off the back of losing last week and losing in Europe, again, it's a sickener. But the reaction that I'm hearing here, it does feel slightly dramatised. It does feel slightly extreme. Drop Mohamed Salah, Arne Slot's getting it wrong. Arne Slot's making the wrong substitutions. It's all going wrong. I don't necessarily see it like that. I think patience is necessary. It's been a bad week for Liverpool, no doubt. But I am also fairly sure that Arsenal will have those moments as well. There are a lot of twists and turns to come. And do you know what? Nobody is talking about Man City. Everybody's saying how happy Arsenal must be. The fact that Chelsea have taken points off Liverpool, beaten Liverpool in the last minute. Man City. What does this mean for Man City? What does this mean for Man City's fixture this week? What does it mean for Man City's title charge? Really do want to hear from anyone, any fan who has major strong feelings on the title race. This is the Rory Jennings phone-in show, and we will speak to you after the break.
Jennings comes back in on his left foot, draws the ball down low to the left and produces a brilliant finish. And Tottenham Hotspur become the first team to beat Leeds United in a league game at Ellen Road in over a year.
Oh, we might have a penalty here. We have got a penalty here. Little shimmy, Saka steps up, and of course he scores. Arsenal go top of the table at a canter. Arsenal 2, West Ham 0.
He's going to have to drag this team, Nuno, kicking and screaming, I think, away from the relegation zone.
Manchester United 2, Sunderland 0. Goals in back-to-back games for Benjamin Šeško. Ruben Amorim's 50th game as Manchester United manager. He celebrates with 3 points.
We tried to make it sound good for the listeners, but I've watched under 6 games with more quality in the second half. I promise you that.
It's a winner for Chelsea. Chelsea 2, Liverpool 1, and it's Esteval who has won it. Deep into stoppage time here. It's now 3 defeats in a row for Liverpool. At the start of the season, Liverpool love stoppage time, and at the moment it must be making them sick. They slip to second in the Premier League table.
This is the Rory Jennings phone-in show, and that is how Saturday sounded on talkSPORT, with big wins for Chelsea, Arsenal, Manchester United and Tottenham. It's been a very good day for the City of London in the Premier League. Now, before we get back to your calls, we're going to head to Stamford Bridge to hear from Liverpool boss Arne Slot, who told talkSPORT's Ollie Klink it's been a tough week for his side.
It's been a tough week and a disappointing week. But the only thing I can ask from the players is that they give everything they have. That's what they did last week in the second half performance against Palace. We were so much stronger than them. We created so many chances. The Galatasaray game was a different type of game, I think. In the second half, there was hardly any playing time, so we didn't create that much in the second part, but we just kept trying. And today I saw, in a very difficult away game, a Liverpool team that created more chances than Chelsea did. But football is not about creating chances. Football is about scoring them. And another time we were on the wrong side of the score.
Arnie, just a reflection on Mo Salah, maybe not hitting quite the heights that he did last season so far. What are your reflections on his performances so far?
I think today he came in a lot of promising situations. Normally with Mo, that leads to goals. Today it didn't. So, that is what I saw.
All this focus on Mohamed Salah, I do find it baffling. I've had 4 Liverpool callers call up tonight and say that Mohamed Salah needs to be dropped. Now, most of the time when we talk about football, I think it's about opinion. I think everybody's opinion is valid. But on this one, I'm convinced I'm right. Anyone that thinks Mohamed Salah should be dropped is completely wrong. When things go wrong, when things are not going as they should, when the going gets tough, that's when you need your big players. Arsenal would have never dropped Thierry Henry from their starting lineup. Chelsea would have never dropped Frank Lampard from our starting lineup when we desperately needed wins. Henry, Lampard, Salah, they are the players that get your chestnuts out of fire. They are the players that you persevere with, even when it looks like it's going wrong. I am baffled at this focus on Mohamed Salah. I really am. But we're going to go straight back to the phone lines now, and we're going to speak to Carla. Carla, a Chelsea fan. Carla, you've got to be over the moon with that.
Oh, I'm absolutely buzzing, Rory. I'm. Do you know what? Liverpool are one team, apart from Spurs, that I cannot stand. And every time that we beat them, I am absolutely buzzing. I was out tonight. I phoned my husband, who's actually a West Ham fan, and he was just like, "Do you have to rub it in that you've got like 3 points?" I went, "Yes, I do."
No, good for you.
I said, I'm actually hoping this would be a turnaround with Maresca. I don't know about him. I'm not 100% convinced, but then realistically, who else is out there that we can have as a manager? And I don't want us to keep like sacking managers and, you know, going through the same thing. And, you know, I'm really hoping now this is a good turnaround for us.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's how we need to view it, Carla. I agree with every word you said there, actually. I think that we need to use this result as a sort of galvanising force, as a springboard to start our season, because we've limped along really so far this season. We've had some really uninspiring results, you know, losing at home to Brighton, losing away to Manchester United, and then watching them go the following week and get beat by Brentford. So it hasn't been good enough for Maresca. But today, focusing on today, he got it right, didn't he?
He actually did, yeah. And I'm so glad that Esther got a goal. We've got the winner. My dad, he's been a Chelsea supporter since the 60s. And my dad's not far wrong when he sees a good player. And he went to me, "Girl, that boy will be mustard for us."
Yeah, there's no doubt. Do you know what? He scored against us in the Club World Cup.
He did.
He scored a really good goal. And you know, when you're looking at a player like that, sometimes you just know, don't you? Like Arsenal fans were doing it earlier this season with Max Dowman. Sometimes you just know that there's a wonder kid in the making. And Esteval Willian is most certainly that, isn't he?
Oh, absolutely. And I know I have a lot of friends who do go to the bridge. Unfortunately, I can't always get there. It's out of my price range now. But friends that do go, they got his chant. They called him Steve. He's been totally embraced by us all. And yeah, we're all absolutely buzzing. So I'm going
Come on in,
home now.
Carla. What happens from here? What does this result mean for us? You know, we keep talking about the ramifications of the title race. We keep talking about what Chelsea winning means to Arsenal, what it means for Liverpool, maybe what it means for Man City. What does it mean for us?
It means for us that we go on, we do what we got to do. Forget the rest. They got to do what they got to do. We don't need to do what we need to do. We don't need to focus on them. We just got to now hit the ground running. I'm a bit sort of disappointed we now got this international break because I'm kind of thinking, oh God, we could do with like a nice run. But I'm hoping we'll keep that momentum up. I was a bit worried when we won the Club World Cup, which is brilliant. I was thinking, yeah, a dip's going to come. I didn't think it'd be this early, mind you.
Yeah.
However, if we had it, we get it out of the way, and we'll just keep going on like we always
Brilliant
do.
call, Carla. Absolutely brilliant call. Great to talk to you, and I agree with basically every word that you said there. And now, before we go back to the phone lines, we're going to speak to Mark, an Arsenal fan, in a minute. I need to just ram this home. Any Liverpool fans out there that either think Mohamed Salah should be dropped or think it's nonsense, it doesn't make sense to me. But like I say, 5 different Liverpool fans, 5 different callers have all said Salah to be dropped. Need to hear from you. 03717 22 3344. We're going back to the phone lines now. Mark, sir, you are live on talkSPORT.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very well, Mark. You're an Arsenal fan. You've got to be over the moon. You are welcome, sir.
Yeah, first time caller. Great show.
That's very kind.
No, I'm happy, but I'm also a realistic Arsenal fan. You know, I believe it's a long season. We've experienced, as they say, it's the hope that kills you. You know, we've experienced this sort of thing before, and we've come up short. So I think everyone just needs to kind of calm down a little bit, and let's take it one game at a time and see where we are in a few months' time. You know, obviously I'm an excited Arsenal fan, but I get very excited very quickly and then end up being disappointed. So at the moment I'm just trying to keep it cool and, take it a game at a time.
Yeah, but I like a bit of perspective, Mark. It's not the way that I always operate, but I like somebody else who demonstrates an element of perspective. Did you, prior to this weekend, think that Arsenal were going to win the league?
I thought at the beginning of the season that we had a great chance of winning the league before the season even started. You know, Liverpool are a great team. They will bounce back and they will, come close and push us all the way. I really believe that. But I think a lot of Liverpool fans, are focusing on the wrong thing. They're all phoning up, moaning about Salah and Isak hasn't hit the ground running and Ekitike is new and they're in transition up front. But for me, the worrying thing is, which they don't have the personnel and they can't buy anyone until January, is the defence. You know, that's the area I think that they've got poor players. And those players, I don't think will bounce back, whereby the strikers will bounce back. So I think the only way Liverpool really keep going, and I know they will keep going, is when their strikers turn it around. Because I think defensively they're going to concede goals. I feel a bit sorry for Van Dijk because he's trying to keep a defence together, and you can't be one outstanding defender and 3 average defenders. You know, that's the difference. Arsenal have got, I think, 4 outstanding defenders.
Yeah, I think it's a great call. It's a great call, Mark. Really, really interesting stuff. I do want to hear from you. 03717 22 3344. Give that number a ring now and I could be speaking to you any moment on talkSPORT.
punchbag for many fans. So what happened? Well, let's take a look and you can decide for yourself. Over the last 3 years, the club lost 300 million quid, and Ratcliffe rightfully committed to sorting that. But what seemed to get fans' backs up is the way he went about it. For example, talkSPORT understands staff lunch options at the Carrington canteen.
Now, before we go back to the calls, we're going to have a look ahead to the rest of the weekend's games. We have Everton versus Crystal Palace, Aston Villa versus Burnley, Newcastle United take on Ange Postecoglou and Nottingham Forest. Wolverhampton Wanderers will be desperate for a win at Molineux against Brighton and Hove Albion, and Brentford take on Man City. But we now need to get straight back to the phone lines. Let's speak to Nasser, the Liverpool fan. Nasser, before I even hear what you want to talk about, before I even hear what's on your mind, I need to ask you a question. 5 Liverpool fans have phoned up and said that Mohamed Salah needs to be dropped. Where do you sit on that debate?
I don't disagree with any of that.
Really?
He's not performing like he was last season. And he was top for the last game at Galatasaray, I think it was. He's come on today. He's not playing like he was last season. He just isn't. And it's as simple as that. So I'd rather see Chiesa or somebody else be given a chance. He's not performing. The problem is, recent managers, Klopp, this includes Klopp, they leave him on the pitch for too long.
But the reason that they leave him on the pitch, Nasser, the reason that Mohamed Salah gets left on the pitch is because he is a world-class talent who is capable of the unexpected.
His numbers say that, but he can be as frustrating as much as his numbers are as good. He can be frustrating because he could miss passes, or he's hitting the ball towards the goal when he should be passing the ball.
Yeah,
it can be frustrating as anything.
I kind of agree, and I kind of see where you're coming from. There were a couple of moments today where he had to score and he missed.
His first touch, 50% of the time, isn't as good as it should be. It bounces off him and it's away from him, and the opponents get it. He's not as This season we've got problems, and the problems with new players coming in. The problems are with Slot and his picks. It's with the substitutions he's making. The players aren't playing as well as they should be playing. We've got a hope. We should never have let Diaz go on the left-hand side. Gatto, without him, we're lost. On the right-hand side, if Salah's not up to it, we've got nobody else to replace him on that right-hand side.
Nasser, do you think you win the league this year?
Oh, no. Not on the basis of what I've seen so far of the season. We have been really, really poor in all of our matches. Every single one. How many matches have we played so far? 8?
7, yeah.
9? Whatever. So 9 matches, all of them very poor, is not good enough. It's not Liverpool standard. And this season we're being found out because last season Klopp's team and Klopp's style of play was carrying us through. Slot didn't change anything last season in terms of how we played, just slowed it down a little bit. This season, he's trying to play his way with his players, and it's not working.
I'm really surprised, Nasser. I'm really surprised that this is how you feel.
It's not working, mate. Whether it will come good. We will play excellent football. We will be the best team in England come January, December. So by then, we'll be too far behind.
It's funny, isn't it? You know, from the outside looking in, and look, I'm not a Liverpool fan at all. I'm over the moon that you got beat today. But from the outside looking in, I would say that Mohamed Salah is the solution to the problems that Liverpool face. Mohamed Salah is one of the reasons why it's going to be okay.
Let me ask you a question. When Salah's not playing well, who replaces him?
Ekitike, you do a rejig and Ekitike will start?
Ekitike is in central. No, Ekitike is brilliant centrally. Florian Wirtz, brilliant midfield centrally. Cody Gakpo, brilliant on the left wing. But when Cody and Salah aren't playing well, what happens? They push ping-pong up forward. They put Soboslai, who's a midfielder, back as a right back. It's not working. It's not good enough. Why have we got a midfielder playing right back?
Yeah, I mean, it's good points raised by Nasser there. Really good call, Nasser. Thank you very much. Not how I see the situation at all. I just think that your big players are your big players because they get you out of jail. Your big players are your big players because they know the standard. They get you winning games again. But I have to concede this one. I've now spoken to 6 Liverpool fans, and 6 Liverpool fans have told me that Mohamed Salah needs to be dropped from the starting lineup of a Liverpool team that are in need of goals and wins. I'm baffled, but I have to hold my hands up and admit I've got this wrong. We're now going to speak to Rico, the Chelsea fan. Rico, sir, you're live on talkSPORT. How are you?
Rory, my man, how are you doing? You all right?
Yeah, over the moon. I mean, I can't believe what's happened, really. It's got to be one of our biggest and most significant wins since this ownership took over.
Mate, it was beautiful, mate. Mate, listen, everyone in my family is a Liverpool fan. Everybody. When we play them, mate, I'm in it. I'm in the deep end, mate. I've had enough of them. We lost 3 finals in a row to them on penalties, or what was it? I've had enough of them. It was beautiful. But what I'm trying to say is, my man, I've seen a lot of Liverpool games, a lot of them throughout the years. Salah's off it, my guy. Trust me. He's always been a weird player, never really the most comfortable, like, with the ball. He's so weird, but he gets goals, and you're thinking, how's he done it again?
Rico, what is going on? How is everyone using 7 games at the beginning of the season where his form is slightly underwhelming to somehow now have a major pop at Mohamed Salah? This time last year, we were talking about him as being a genuine contender for the Ballon d'Or.
Rory, sometimes you get old overnight, my man. The legs are not there.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me there. I thought, yeah, fair enough.
No. I'm talking about Mo Salah, mate. Like, do you remember the goals, like that goal against City when from the halfway line when he turned Cancelo, pace through? He ain't got it like that no more. Trust me, I've seen so much of Liverpool. It pains me. Like, I've had enough of them. But listen, Salah ain't the same player no more. I'm telling you, he's gone old overnight, my man. Listen, he might get a few more goals because he's good. He's good. But he ain't the same. He's off it. Heavy touch. The pace is gone. Even his strength, his core strength was ridiculous. Correa's got his number. He's had his number for a couple of games now. I'm telling you, mate, these fans ain't wrong.
Okay, look, Rico, you present the case well. You make some compelling arguments. It's just not the way I see it. I always believe that your big players, your marquee players, your statement players, they're the players that get you out of jail. There isn't an Arsenal fan in the world that would have told you that even if Dennis Bergkamp was off form, that he should have been dropped. There isn't a Chelsea fan in the world that will ever tell you that even if Frank Lampard hadn't scored for 3 games, that we should drop him. He would always come good when we most needed him to. And to be honest, I believe that Mohamed Salah is still the option. He's still the reason why Liverpool will win the league this season, in my opinion. But I've had 7 Liverpool fans telling me that he needs to go. We're going to stay with Liverpool fans. We're going to speak to Chris. Chris, you're live on talkSPORT, sir.
Hi, Rory. How's it going, back?
Yeah, mate, I'm over the moon. And I'm... Sorry, Chris, who do you support?
Man United.
Oh, right. Okay. What do you make of what you've seen today?
I just think it's funny how Liverpool fans going on about Mo Salah after everything he's done for him. He's had a couple of bad games now about dropping him. I agree with what you're saying. He's a good player. So you got to play your best players at the end of the day. But I'm happy with the Chelsea win today, not going to lie.
No, of course. Of course, it's a massive win. It really is. And I too am over the moon. I appreciate your call there, Chris. Thank you so much for getting in touch. Now, remember, you can hear all of Sunday's goals as they go in on Game Day Live with Sam Matterface from 2 p.m. live from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium because the NFL is back in London. And over on talkSPORT 2, you can hear live commentary of all 3 games in the series starting from this Sunday as the Cleveland Browns take on the Minnesota Vikings. And then majestic and experienced Premier League manager Alan Pardew are taking your calls from 6:30. But for now, keep your calls coming in. 03717 223344. This is talkSPORT. Absolutely brilliant. There is a madness theme. There is nothing quite like Stamford Bridge rocking to the dulcet tones of Suggs as Chelsea win games in the last moment against the champions. A significant win, the best win that Chelsea have had for years at Stamford Bridge, the best win that we have had under this new ownership, and I really do hope that we can use that result, beating the champions at home in the last minute, to galvanise this Enzo Maresca squad and really kick on, because so far the season's been fairly underwhelming, but today has made it all palatable again. Now, before we go back to the calls, I just want to talk about one of the greatest men to have ever lived, the king that is Sir Frank Lampard. I know that this isn't on my running order, but Coventry had another sensational victory today. They beat Sheffield Wednesday 5-0. They have scored 12 goals in 7 days, winning 3 games on the spin. Scored 27 league goals already this season. Not bad for a man that many said wasn't a particularly good manager. I mean, what a manager that is. Coventry City riding high. And when you think about what they did midweek against Millwall, going to the Den and winning in a resounding way, in the way that they did, it is a joy to see Frank Lampard doing so well at Coventry. And I do wish the Sky Blues well this season. PUSB and all that. I'm now from a former Chelsea boss to the current assistant manager, Willie Caballero, who spoke to talkSPORT's Ollie Klink after his side's dramatic win against Liverpool this evening. And he said that he was delighted with his young team.
Well, of course, he knows about the red card. He knows that in the future he has to avoid that. Everybody knows that. But it was a matter of emotions today. We all were deciding about to score the goal, and when he ran to the players and to the supporters, a victory like that, sometimes, you cannot keep the calm.
Such a big win today. How would you assess the start of the season so far as we head into this international break?
Well, we've been a little bit, I won't say up and down, but we have to deal a few games with the red cards, playing with 10, and probably that things that we need to fix, and we're gonna improve, because we cannot count the game against United because 3 minutes on the game and we were playing with 10, and even though the players did a really good effort, we are playing a good football, and the team has to believe in that we can be better than many other teams.
Big words there from Willie Caballero, the Chelsea assistant manager, off the back of that huge victory at Stamford Bridge. Now we're going to go straight back to the phone lines and we're going to talk to Tony, a Liverpool fan, I believe. Tony, sir, you're live on talkSPORT.
All right, Rory, yeah, I'm in the car with the lads on the way back. Just a couple of points. I think Chelsea were there for the taking today. No Cole Palmer, no centre-halves. And don't disrespect to Chelsea, but Liverpool, that's how bad they are. They couldn't even beat Chelsea there. They were depleted, and they lost 2 defenders in the game as well. We're missing a playmaker. There's no one from midfield to the forwards, and that's been the problem all season. There's no one creating anything at all. They brought Wits in for a lot of money. Seems like he's under a lot of pressure to me. It's going to take him time. And Mo Salah, he's been brilliant for us, but come on, this season he's been woeful. And even tonight, he could have passed it a couple of times, and his shooting and his passing, he's just got to be dropped now, and that's it. And with Paddy here, by the way, Rory, he wants to speak to you.
Paddy Pimlett?
Yeah.
Icon.
Yes, Rory, what's happening?
How are you, Paddy, sir? It's an honour.
I'm good, lad, I'm good. The best thing about Stamford Bridge there was your beef and onion pie, lad. But I'm fully with Tony there, lad, to be honest. Like, I love Salah, he's one of the best players we've ever had in our club, but he needs taken off, you know what I mean? Like, when's the point where he's playing that bad, where he gets dropped or he gets stuff off? I think the substitution of Endo to come on was one of the worst substitutions I've ever seen. Put Chiesa on, put someone on who's going to come on and win the game for you, not someone who you bring on when you're winning to shore things up. Like, I just don't understand what Slot was doing there, to be honest. Why would you bring Endo on?
Yeah, to be honest, I can't rationalise that substitution either. That one makes no sense to me. How was it in the ground, Paddy? Was there a good atmosphere in there? Were Liverpool fans expectant? What was it like from the away end?
Yeah, there's a good atmosphere in the away end. The first half wasn't the best, you know what I mean? Caicedo, man, what a player. He's an example for us that you can't just expect a player what you pay that much for to come in and be unbelievable straight away. We need to take that example with Wales. A lot of people are on his back, but he's a young lad. He's come to a new country, new language and all that, a new team, and we need to give him time to settle in. I thought he looked good when he come on in the second half, but again, I just go back to Salah. You know, like Salah should have been taken off there. We should have put someone else on that give us more of an option. Yeah. And that's not a bad thing to Salah. It's just he's not in the best form at the minute. And, like, he needs to obviously not get taught a lesson, but he needs to learn that if he's not playing so well, he's going to get took off, where he never seems to get taken off. But the reason, Paddy, I'm going to play devil's advocate with this. I will always argue that the reason why he doesn't get taken off, the reason why he is Mohamed Salah, you know, a player that will go down in history as one of your greatest ever, I think he'll be looking at your goal-scoring record, and he'll have an eye on Ian Rush's record. It looks too far to me, but I think he'll think that he can get that. That's the kind of icon that we're talking about here. Players like that, you need them on the pitch, don't you? Yeah, but we do need him on the pitch, but at the same time, he needs to know that when he's not playing so well, he can get took off, he can get hooked. It happens with other players all the time. You know, Kirkes has been took off twice now in 7 Premier League games where he hasn't been having the best game. But like, that's just part of football. If you're not playing your best, you get took off. You know, you get dropped, you get took off, Rory. It's like a kick up the backside, isn't it? Yeah. You know, the manager say to him, look, if you're not pulling your weight, I will drop you or take you off. You know, maybe that might kick him on a little bit, but you know, but it's not happening because he's not taking him off. Chiesa was warming up there. He should have been the sub, not Endo. Chiesa should have been on. He's probably been one of our better players this season. And again, I don't want to badmouth Salah, but lad, he's carried us for years. But that goal that you scored, if he follows the run of Cucurella, that goal doesn't happen. Yeah. But he stopped chasing back and he left Cucurella run on his own. Cucurella hit the ball in and you scored off it. Yeah. Paddy, what do you think off the back of this then? So, you know, like, obviously we've analysed the game, we've spoken about Salah. What do you think the ramifications are of this game? Do you think Liverpool win the league? Yeah, I'm an optimist, lad. I still think we win the league. I still think the players need to gel. I still think they'll come good. You know, Isaac's looking better each game he plays. Ekatike coming on is also a brilliant player. I love Ekatike, but there's a lot of things what needs working on, but I still think we'll win the league. If we're in a title race with Arsenal, we'll win the league. As long as it's not Manchester City, lad, I still think we can win the league. I've never said this before in my life, but the international break has come at the right time for Liverpool FC. We normally don't like international breaks. It normally breaks our rhythm, but at this moment in time, this international break is a godsend for us because it gives the players a little bit of respite, a little break, and then we come back, beat Man United, and we're on from there on. Like, it's, as I say, it's been a terrible week being a Liverpool FC fan. I've been depressed all week. Now I know how Everton fans feel year in, year out. Yeah, you had to get it in, hey? Brilliant. Paddy, thank you so much. Tony, great to speak to you both. Really do appreciate your time. And that's Paddy Pimlet there on his way home from Stamford Bridge off the back of watching Chelsea beat Liverpool in the last minute. Really interesting conversation there. And this Mohamed Salah chat debacle almost has gone in a direction that I didn't necessarily anticipate. I'm very surprised. But that is now basically unanimous verdict in. Mohamed Salah should be dropped from Liverpool's starting lineup. We're going to stay with the phone lines now, and we're going to change direction a bit. We're going to speak to Mark, the Chelsea fan. I imagine that you're over the moon, Mark.
Yeah, I'm absolutely over the moon, Rory. We were there, me and my boy Charlie, on our way back, and the Matthew Harding stand tonight was buzzing, mate. It was absolutely fantastic. The atmosphere there was great, and to get that last minute win was it was the best thing. It was the best thing ever.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think it means from that? Now, the season has been underwhelming. You know, it's not what we want to talk about, Mark. Obviously, off the back of a massive victory like that, beating the champions in the last minute, you're over the moon. But let's be totally frank about our season so far. It's been fairly underwhelming, hasn't it? Do you think this could be the start of it actually kicking on?
I think it can be. I think it could be the spark. I think we've had a lot of injuries, right? The injury to Cole Palmer was a big thing for us. But we've had other injuries as well. I've got to say, in the second half, bringing Lavia on, seeing Lavia back in that team, he made a huge difference alongside Caicedo. You know, that's the team that we want to see play football. And you know, we keep saying about we want to see our Chelsea back, and that's what we felt like in the second half. We started to see that coming out in the team.
It did feel like a big moment, didn't it? Do you know what I loved? Obviously, I wasn't at the game. I was watching the game here at talkSPORT. But do you know what I loved? I haven't been a big fan of Enzo Maresca. I'm not having him really. There's something about him that I just haven't warmed to. But you know, off the back of that goal hitting the back of the net when he went charging down the touchline, basically launched himself headfirst into the Matthew Harding lower. That's what I want to see. That's what Antonio Conte did. When we beat West Ham in Conte's first home game, Diego Costa scored in the last minute and he launched himself headfirst into the fans.
100%.
And
100%.
the
That's what we
passion
want
of
to
that.
see.
Yeah, I feel like it could be the coming-of-age victory. It could be the moment that we really start under this manager, and I hope that it happens. I'm glad that you had a brilliant time in there with your boy, Mark, and a great call. We're now going to speak to Pharrell, the Arsenal fan. Pharrell, you're live on talkSPORT, my friend.
Hello. Yeah, I've got 2 points to make, really. One about Liverpool and one about Arsenal winning the league. I think this is the first time I'll say 100% I'm absolutely certain that we should win the league and there's no excuses whatsoever. I think previous seasons, the only season I say we bottled it was 22-23 when we sort of took the league by storm out of nowhere, and then we did bottle it in full back. Other than that, we haven't bottled it. This season, we will bottle it if we don't win the league, 100%. We've got the best squad by a mile. We've got the best 11 by a mile. Liverpool look shaky. City ain't what they were, and there's no other team that can compete in. So if we don't win the league, 100% we've bottled it, yeah.
I think that's fair. I think that's honest, and I think I agree with every word. You had a second point, did you, Pharrell? Because so far I'm completely on board. I can't contest that at all.
Just about Liverpool, I think, just talking about Slot, really. I think last season, by the way, no, I'm not taking any credit away from Slot. Obviously, he's done an unbelievable job coming in as a new manager into a new league. You're gonna normally face a lot of challenges, but he's obviously taken the league by storm, smashed it, won the league with pretty much no trouble whatsoever. But he had Klopp's team, and they played Klopp football. Now we're seeing him bring his own players into a team. He's got sort of he's still got the bulk of the squad that Klopp had, but he's playing his system, his style. He's brought his new players into the team, and all of a sudden they don't look like what they were. And I think last season as well, if Arsenal didn't have the injuries we had, I mean, we went to Old Trafford with a front three of Sterling, Marino and Trossard, right? I mean, that sums it up. We weren't anywhere at the races at the back end of last season.
Do you think you do it this year? Do you think you do it, Pharrell?
Yeah, 100%.
100%. You've heard it there from Pharrell. 100% Arsenal win the league. Sadly, that is it from me tonight. Thank you to everybody who's got in touch. It's been a brilliant show. I've loved every minute of it, and I hugely appreciate anybody that's taken time out of their very precious Saturday nights to join us for this show. I will be back next week on Friday evening from 7 p.m. with Thank Football. It's Friday. There is a huge week coming up on talkSPORT Breakfast with a whole host of top guests joining the show, including former tennis champion and broadcast legend Sue Barker, comedian Alan Davis, I love him, Jonathan Creek and all that, and legendary cyclist Geraint Thomas. And you can hear the talkSPORT Breakfast Show every day next week from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. You will not want to miss it. Coming up next, it's the best boxing show on the radio with the wonderful Adam Catterall and the icon that is Spencer Oliver. It's Fight Night on talkSPORT.